for.
Yeah, because
That's okay. We'll go ahead and
Yeah.
rest a kiss. We'll give it, then we can talk about it.
I'm just going to give you a little feedback on your presentation skills, okay? Hannah, your eye contact was good.
Yes.
All right. Only saw you read off your board just a couple times. Okay, so your eye contact was good. Voice inflection was pretty good. All right. We always want to consider the place where we have our voice inflection. So it's good that it's being recorded because you can kind of look at it. But we don't want to go overboard with our voice inflection, but sometimes a little bit more might be good because we're telling the audience when they should feel something during our presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a good idea. Just take a look at that maybe a little bit. I'll be honest, your voice volume was a little loud.
Loud.
Yes, I think that my guess is, from knowing you for 3/4 and then seeing you, maybe when you do your presentation, your voice, or maybe when you get nervous, your voice might
Probably.
increase.
Yeah.
Your voice volume might increase. I know it wasn't this because you're a sweet girl and I love you, but I kind of felt yelled at a little bit. So I never had any problem hearing you. It was a little bit loud. So again, I'm sure you'll notice that. That's just something, this is only your second presentation, large presentation like this. And it's just something to get used to when you're talking. And that's, that's the emotion part. Sometimes the emotion we put in something is we back off a little bit. And that shows emotion as well.
Yeah.
So it's both showing a lot of emotion, but it's also backing off, and that can show some emotion too. I will say this, you talked so fast.
Yeah.
You've got to slow down, okay? And this is why. There's a few reasons. When you talk so fast, people might be missing some really important stuff that you're saying, okay? Because they're trying to keep up with you.
Yeah.
You're like, what's she talking about now? And second, when you talk so fast, or when, and not you, we do it, I mean, everybody does it. When we talk fast, we don't breathe as much as we need to. When we're talking fast like this, and then we're going to go to the next subject, and then we're going to talk about something else, and it's these short breaths, okay? And I'm sure Mr. Slaughter will attest to that as a musician. Those deep breaths, or at least taking some more oxygen, is not only keeping you alive, but it's getting oxygen to your brain, and oxygen is what's helping you process what you're saying. It's helping you concentrate. And when we take those short breaths, we're not getting the oxygen to our brain to help us concentrate on things. And to be honest with you, that's when you start fumbling over words and repeating yourself, because your brain's not having the time or the oxygen that it needs to really process things correctly, okay? But you talk fast anyways.
Yeah.
And then probably when you get up and do a presentation, you talk even faster.
Yeah.
So that's just something to consider for the future. And then the last thing was your posture. Your posture was good. Stood up straight. Wasn't a lot of fidgeting, maybe a little bit, but not a lot, especially with girls with or boys with longer hair can have a tendency to play with it sometimes, or keep putting it behind their ears, or mess with sleeves or something like that. And I really didn't see that. So just a few things for you to consider as you move forward, doing some more presentations. You have the ability and you have the mechanics. It's just kind of putting everything together to have some really great presentation skills, which you're capable of. Okay?
I think that you did a really good job with your content. I think that you have a really good understanding of the scientific method. I think that you have a clear view of how the things relate to each other, why they're important, why we do the things that we do. I think you have a really, really good understanding of the relationship between density, mass, and density, mass, and
Volume.
Actually, volume is the area, and this is no criticism, okay? Because one of the things that has happened in this experiment is that you are a 6th grade person studying something that people continue to study all the way through college and even graduate programs. So there are degrees of sophistication in terms of this, and you have the limitations of, are you 11 or 12?
12.
The limitations of 12. And so those limitations cannot be held against you, and I'm not going to hold those limitations against you. Because as we grow, we learn all kinds of things. So what's happened is that your scientific thinking has outpaced your mathematical ability. And that's, again, no criticism on your part. When we talk about volume,
So this is what I noticed
Right.
is what you were talking about as volume and what she was using as
Right.
volume were different.
and that-
she and I had the same
Right.
conversation, and I asked
Right.
very clearly, are you talking about volume capacity of
Well-
what it can hold or volume of what the boat's
the
actually
material.
made
Okay, so that I think is really the crux of
Yeah.
the issue, and that's the questions I was asking you because I was
Yeah.
trying to get exactly. When we talk about volume, volume is the amount of space inside something. So when I look at this boat,
Yeah.
this would be the volume of the boat, and this would be the volume. When you are talking about just the material that the boat is made out of, that's actually the mass of the boat.
Yeah.
Because what happened is when you crunch them up like this, can you see you change the volume?
what she
But you
measured.
didn't change the mass. So I think that is one of those things that as you grow in your sophistication of measurement and as you go up higher in levels of math, those things will become much more distinct. So this is an experiment that as a junior in high school, you will perform much more differently just
Yeah.
because your knowledge base has changed. But I cannot in any way fault what you have done in your experiment. You drew great
Okay.
conclusions, you got great results. I think you controlled very well for everything that you had the ability to be aware of. So awesome job, really good. So that'll happen. We're gonna move into volume in math.
Okay.
Hopefully, I think, for quarter, if everything goes according to plan. But even then, it will be a rudimentary issue of volume because that volume is a curved volume and
Yeah.
curved. That's like calculus. So
Yeah.
all right, Mr. Slaughter.
So I think she had very great presentation skills. Relax a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Just relax. Maybe demonstrate a few things on your board when you want to emphasize something, but very nice.
All right, that's it, Hannah. Now, I just need to ask you to fill out this little self-reflection sheet for me. You'll do that out at the table out there.
Okay.
Okay, there's pens out there. Please make sure you put your name on it. You know how I don't like it when people don't put names on things.
Yeah.
Because you'll put it in the basket and then at some point we'll collect this stuff and you'll get this as part of like a kind of a big package back from Ms. Cattell shortly after you get back from spring break. Okay, so we want to make sure everything gets back to you.
How does it feel to be done?
Amazing.
I would tell you that probably the content that you were dealing with, Hannah, is probably the most sophisticated that I've seen so far in presentation.
you.
So
This is the
really,
new map, the map with
just
the
some
new,
amazing
the
stuff
new
there.
dropper off. Yeah,
So I'm
drops
very
are off,
excited. I cannot
Did you
wait.
ever
I
use
certainly
the
know.
church?
I usually
Okay,
use this.
awesome.
So
Then
it's
just
right
use
here.
this
When
one.
you're in
Okay.
high school, I will look forward to that.
and then leave this.